guys, and thank you for joining me for my first ever theory video on Riverdale, and thank you so much for the positive responses that you have been giving me on these videos. That's why I've decided to start doing 3 videos every week on Riverdale. So I have my reaction video that goes up on Friday mornings, my live chat for Riverdale at 6 p.m. Eastern on Fridays, and my theory videos that go live on Saturdays. So there's a lot we need to talk about from this week's episode, but let's start out with Jason. So we learn more about what happened the day he disappeared, and we learned that he told Cheryl that he wanted to fake his death. Because of that, I think that she knew the reason why. Now, either she knew a convincing reason that he made up to tell her because he didn't want to tell her the truth, or she knew the real reason, but she hasn't revealed that to anyone. I say this because if you tell someone you want to fake your death and you need their help, you're probably not going to go along with it unless they're really convincing, like if he thought someone was trying to kill him or whatever the reason was. It's really hard to theorize what he was running away from because we don't know anything about him. We've barely seen him, even in flashback form. We know he probably wasn't the nicest of guys because he was using a scorebook for points with Polly, who was his girlfriend, so that's not very nice. But we don't really know who might have wanted to hurt him or who he was hiding from. And to me, I definitely think the person who killed him wanted to do so maliciously. They were set up to kill him, and they probably found out his plan to run away. That's because they were able to kidnap him, and remember, they kept him for an entire week before killing him, and it appeared that he had been tied up from the marks on his body, so I feel like he was probably tortured. Now, I don't know if he was tortured for him to commit or confess things or talk about things, or if he was just tortured because someone felt like he had done them wrong. I don't know. Part of me was wondering if he was running away from some sort of relationship with Miss Grundy. I feel like she's the kind of teacher who's probably had relationships with many students before, and maybe they had something going on. Now, I feel like the show wants you to believe in next week's episode that she killed him, and I do not have her as a suspect, but we need to talk about her. So, in the promo, we also learned that she has faked her identity, that she's pretending to be someone who died. Now, the reason I think she's faked her identity is because I think she got caught at another school having a relationship with a student, and she had to have a new name and identity and everything in order to get hired at a school again. I think she's got a problem with this, and she's done this many times. That's what I think is going on there. As far as being a killer, I don't think she's a killer. I just think she's a really creepy person. And I think she uses these young boys and doesn't really want a serious relationship with them. So that's pretty crazy. So we need to talk about Betty, and that was one of the main things I wanted to talk to you guys about as far as me having a new suspect. When I say I have a new suspect, it's not really new because she was one of the people I named a suspect from the beginning, even though we're only 3 episodes in. The first person I thought of as a suspect was her sister Polly. The problem I have with her sister being the killer is that we still haven't met her, but we are supposed to meet her in episode 6. There's actually a Polly, someone is playing her. Because it makes the most sense to me because she was apparently obsessed with Jason and he didn't feel the same about her, and she had motivation to kill him. But whoever wanted to kill him was really, really, really angry, and we don't know much about either one of them, so I don't really know yet. But we saw Betty act very strangely in the scenes with Chuck, who had been using girls and being, terrible to them. So they wanted to pay him back, but her actions went way too far. I actually felt like she was going to kill him either by, turning up the temperature so high that he was burned and died from his injuries, or by drowning him. It was really over the top, and Veronica had to stop her. So there's a lot of different ways to look at this here. I started thinking of Betty as a suspect as the killer who was thinking that she was Polly while killing Jason, because she was calling Chuck Jason, and she was referring to herself as Polly in this scene from this week's episode. So there is the possibility that she killed Jason thinking she was actually Polly. We know she has some issues. I don't know if she really does have medical issues, or if she's just someone who has a temper and she just gets set off easily. But that's something that we will find out, I think, as more episodes continue. Something else to keep in mind is, or something I've told some of you guys on Twitter, but maybe you don't know if you don't follow me there, one of the people who writes for the show commented on one of my videos, and I followed him on Twitter, and he said he wants the fans to be able to figure out who killed Jason. So I don't think it's going to be, well, it's not going to be somebody we don't know or somebody from another town or someone's relative. It's probably someone we've already met. So I'm not really sure if it's going to be Polly at this point because we still haven't met her, but we still have time, so I don't know. My only problem with Betty being the killer is that she is a main star from the comics and a main star on this series. And if she's revealed as the killer, there's not a lot of options for her. She either has to go to jail for the rest of the series, or she gets killed, or she kills herself. It's just not good, and I don't see them disposing of the main character like that way early in this series. But I'm very curious to see what you guys think about her role in all of this. I feel like we just don't have enough information about everybody for me to 100% give you a person who I think is the killer and to like really truly believe this is the killer, and then me tell you why I believe that they are the killer. So we saw a little bit more from Josie in this episode, but I feel like they're not giving Josie and the Pussycats enough time on screen. Every episode so far they performed a song, which is going to get kind of old, honestly, and it's not because I don't like their music, but it seems formulaic if every episode they're just going to show up and perform a song. And I don't know if they're just trying to sell their music on iTunes or what, but I would like to get to know those girls instead of just having them like as background music. But I'm curious to see what you guys think about that as well. But anyway, I thought it was another really good episode, and I'm super excited to see where this goes, and I'm excited to get to the point where I can really narrow down a suspect or suspects. Just to let you know, I'm covering lots of shows all the time. There's a schedule down below. If you've been watching and you haven't subscribed, or if you're just now finding me, I would really appreciate you subscribe, and also check out the other things I'm doing on this channel, and thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. I really appreciate all your guys' support, and I will see you very soon. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Kelly TV. I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of the Kelly TV family. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter so you can keep up with all I'm doing.